Welcome, everybody, to episode 219 of The Real China Show.
Shout out to the big 219. If you're in the 219 area code, big shout out to you. You should feel proud because we said your area code. And to be honest with you, most of America's rural, so it's probably really exciting to hear your tiny area code.
You think so?
Unless it's some massive metropolitan area.
Big. Either way, guys, we've got a jam-packed show as usual. We've got a lot of space talk, but we've got a lot of other stuff. There's been some crazy things happening in China. So what do you say we jump right into it with what's new?
I do, and I want to address the chat real quick. You guys are arguing about something in the beginning. We're going to be having that debate live here in Yamcha at the end of the show.
Yes.
So stick around to the end of the show if you want to participate in that live, very bloody, violent debate.
It's not
between
violent
Winston
at all.
and I.
Anyway, let's get on with it. We're going to saunter right into it with what's new. And, this is where we talk about everything that's new, specifically with regards to China. But this first clip's not new as in something that's breaking news, because this happens a lot.
Yeah, it's
a new clip.
What's repeated?
It's a new clip.
Yes.
So I'd like everybody to take a look here. This is a fire hose that you find, mandatory in all apartment buildings. On every floor, at the end of the corridor, you're going to have one of these, right? And it gives you a little bit of peace of mind, okay? When you live in one of these high-rise apartments, you're on the 28th floor, you're like, what if a fire breaks out? And in the back of your mind, you're like, well, at least there's that fire hose down the corridor.
That's what I always think. I say, wait, well, at least there's that.
Yeah, because at least you can maybe douse yourself in water while you get engulfed in flames or whatever. But the thing is, at least it's there.
To set that up, though, how many times have you seen this in China? When you walk by that fire hose that looks exactly like that, and you go, man, I hope I never have to use that. It's covered in dust. It's never been checked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we'd like to show you this. In fact, I'm just going to get us out of here so you can see it clearly. Let's take a look at this fire hose. Yeah.
That's about par for the course, isn't it?
That's what we call chabuduo.
Yes. Chabuduo means
good enough.
It's off, not a lot.
Yeah, exactly.
Off by not much.
Good enough.
Yeah. It's actually not chabuduo. That's like chahenduo.
Yeah, it is. But it's like work. The fire safety guy said we had to have a fire hose on every level. Well, we have a fire hose. It's not hooked up to anything, but it's there.
Yeah.
Well,
so what's really cool about China is they get things done.
Sure.
They might be a dictatorship, but they just get things done real fast. And they actually do what they say. Not that the bureaucrats in America that just waste everyone's tax money and time.
Yeah.
Those Chinese, they get those things done.
Yeah, they just put those fire hoses up. They don't hook it up to anything. But hey, it's done, right?
Chinese government, very ineffective, if you're not catching my sarcasm.
Yeah, and they basically, you wonder how they get away with it. It's pretty simple. The inspectors are bribed. So that's why those things can exist and stay there for years, not hooked up.
Yeah.
Okay, so you got some little clips here from the Chinese internet.
Yes, there's stuff that's going viral these days.
Okay, so what's this? That's cool. So he's going to try. What did he expect?
I mean, can you go back for a second?
Sure.
Check out the girl, okay?
Yeah.
So she's...
This dude's like a
see the girl? She's
cigar swallower.
She flicks it up.
Yeah.
And it's sideways.
Yes.
Right? You see it sideways. It's going. She knows that there's potential for this, so she does it sideways, and then it goes up to nicely land.
Yeah, she planned it.
She planned it.
This
guy set it up to go. Remember, I said eating corn the long way.
Yeah. He's
eating corn the long way.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you expect?
Yeah, that's a bit pathetic. Just like his plastic-covered flowers in the back. Yeah.
This guy's going for the longest noodle slurp. And actually, the reason this is interesting is that you can go to some areas of China where the la mian, it's called a pulled noodle.
Yeah.
And it'll be one noodle.
Yes.
And often you'll get this for your birthday because it symbolizes longevity. So you'll get a bowl of these noodles on your birthday. And you know what's funny? I always hated this because you go and get this lucky bowl of noodles on your birthday. But it's always like when you're at this massive feast of your dinner. So you're already eating like duck and pork and all this stuff. And you're like, I don't want to eat some plain ass noodles.
Yeah, it's just a long noodle. I know also part of like wedding ceremonies and stuff, they have that too. And so they'll put this long noodle and you're supposed to try and swallow as much of it to like symbolize that your marriage is going to be a long, healthy marriage. That type of thing.
It's like Lady and the Tramp.
Yeah, except it's just a long noodle that's like a mile long.
Yeah.
Anyway, so let's see what he's going to do with this one.
It didn't work out. No, it didn't work out.
Not quite.
He tried.
Yeah, he certainly did.
It was impressive.
Okay, now this is a Chinese locksmith, and okay.
This is par for the course. If
By
you
the
call
way, yeah.
locksmith in China, this is what you get.
If you call a Chinese locksmith, what they do is they're not going to pick your lock, they're going to break your lock.
Correct.
Whether it's with a grinder or bolt cutters, or this guy's very ingenious technique. Let's take a look. I'll get us out. Okay, wait.
I have it in slow-mo, don't worry.
Okay, you have it in slow-mo? Okay, I'll get us out again. That says it all.
I like how the locksmith
Yeah.
is using the most like stupid rudimentary tools. He's not even using like a file or something
Yeah,
that you have a
bolt
lot of
cutter.
space to hit.
Yeah.
He's using like a thin rod.
Yeah, whatever it is.
And then throws the hammer at his own leg.
Yeah,
or
and lands
nuts.
on his own foot. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely landed on his foot. You
Yeah.
can tell. And he's wearing sandals as well. Anyway, okay. Again. He pulled it out. So what's happening here?
This is such a multifaceted video.
Okay.
So many things happen. First, we can look at this guy. There's a guy, if you're listening and you're not watching, there's a guy sitting down, crouched down, and he's got a bowl of rice, tons of rice.
Piece of meat.
He's got one piece of paigu. When
Yeah.
paigu is like rib,
rib.
pork ribs.
Yeah.
But it's like the little piece of cartilage connected to the meat, right? It's
Yeah.
not the bone, it's the cartilage connected to the meat. That's paigu.
Yeah.
And he's got a piece of pumpkin
Yes.
with the skin on. And he's chatting to the camera as he squats down to eat this thing, right?
Yeah.
But then the chicken,
So
chicken comes and steals the
a
pork.
chicken steals the pork.
But I love this. So he gets mad, right? Hold on. He tries to do a leg sweep to the chicken.
Yeah, tries to kick the chicken.
to get revenge for stealing the pork.
Yeah.
Misses, falls down. While falling, his weird top knot,
Tuft of
crazy
hair.
tuft thing,
Yes.
whatever that hair is.
Yeah,
I don't know, I'm rattling off hairstyles from like creator, like
Yeah.
character creators on like RPGs.
Yeah.
He's got like a tuft of hair that wisps away.
It's like a baby hair, you know? Like
Yeah,
you ever seen
yeah.
a baby cartoon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But at the same time, as he falls, he successfully eats the pumpkin while falling.
Yes.
It's amazing.
It's quite the scene. Ah, yes. So again, I'd like to raise awareness for everyone out there. Bot farms and phone farms in China are very common. I've seen some with my own eyes in Shenzhen. They're very out in the open sometimes. They don't really seem to care. Now, you know when people pay for clicks and likes and engagement?
Yes. Sorry, it was Don Corneo from Final Fantasy VII.
Oh, that's yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you're right.
Anyway, go
Yeah.
ahead.
So when people pay for engagement, you sometimes wonder how, like, I don't know, an influencer who sucks has like millions of followers and lots of engagement. It's because you can pay people in China who run these very sophisticated phone farms. And if you look what's going on here is they've got a computer that controls them all. And they all have individual accounts on them, right? So each one will have its own Weibo account or Facebook account or, Google account or whatever, Instagram account. And what they do is they're running simultaneously all these different influencer apps, the social media apps, and they scroll through and giving likes and engagement and stuff like that. So it artificially creates this idea that you have a successful social media account. And so that's why you get Chinese state media, for instance, who has a Facebook page. It's got like 7 million followers, but only 2 likes on whatever they share.
So yeah, I'd like to add on to this. So Winston is talking about when you're paying like this basic group of people to look like there's engagement on something, and usually that's surrounding like something where someone's trying to sell something or grow their account. But in our case, what we see it mostly used in is, like you said, in state media. And they'll use this to send comments across like material or videos they don't like.
Yeah.
Right? So they go target this one and they'll send 1 billion comments. To be like, this is wrong. He is liar. This
that
stuff,
type of thing.
This
Yeah.
is the stuff we deal with all the time.
Yeah.
There's also these accounts which for some reason have not been dealt with by like these big platforms. They'll have like 1 or 2 million followers, but then each post they put up gets like or a comment from like a random person in the other side of the world that's not actually watching this, right? So it's like it's pretty transparent and obvious how this works, but for some reason I don't know why like these platforms don't go all in and getting rid of these inorganic followers and stuff.
There's another side to this that people don't realize is the amount of environmental damage this does, I know this sounds weird and off the wall, but when you run servers and you have to cater to traffic, you have these big server farms, right? And they have to be powered. They use electricity. They use air conditioning to keep the servers cool. They use a lot of power. And a lot of the bandwidth and power is going to these vacant rubbish bot accounts.
Yeah.
So, instead of proper organic stuff where you could save on energy and all that, if it was just being used as it's designed to be used, now you have to boost your bandwidth and boost your processing power and stuff to deal with these literally millions of false clicks and comments and engagement, So this is bad for the environment too.
Yeah, so boss says all that power consumption for fake likes, and I get a paper straw in my Capri Sun to save the planet.
Exactly, that's what I'm talking about. Again, China, as we know, and if you don't know, you should know, is the biggest contributor to world pollution at the moment. Out of all countries in the world, in fact, they emit more CO2 and so on than all developed countries combined. They burn more coal.
That's not an opinion.
That's the truth. They outfish the seas. They do all this really bad stuff for the environment. And they get away with it. This is just another one of the environmental sins we can pin on China here. Anyway, and the people who pay for this stuff.
A lot of shill accounts that like to use these.
Yeah, exactly. What is this?
This is going to take some explanation.
Okay.
So you are looking at a woman with a sore on her lip, right?
Yeah.
Maybe like a canker sore or something like this. Where do you think she thinks she got this from?
Barbecue?
Shanghua.
Yes.
Right? So if you don't know, Shanghua is the concept in China that does not exist where you're from if you're not from China. Or some parts of Asia.
Yeah, some parts of Asia believe in it.
It's the idea that if you eat fried things or things with too much seasoning or things that are unhealthy in general, this will raise the heat of your qi.
Yeah.
Now, qi doesn't exist, but if you believe in it, your heat will be raised up, and then you will have symptoms like your tongue will get all white,
you'll get
sores
zits,
in your mouth, you'll get acne and zits,
and grease.
you'll get greasy skin. All of this stuff that is explained away by other things.
They just need to drink a jiadou bao, then you'll be okay.
Of course.
Yeah.
All these things in China are always explained away by saying, "Oh, I'm just Shanghua. My qi is too hot." Right. So the number one culprit in China for Shanghua to raise your qi is la tiao.
Ah, yes.
100%. La tiao we've eaten on our VIP show on Mondays is literally wheat gluten.
Yeah.
So people are like, I'm gluten free.
It looks like jerky, but it's not.
Yes. People say they're gluten free.
Yeah, this is gluten full.
This is only gluten.
Yes.
It's wheat gluten.
And it's always made in the chemical industrial zone.
Yes. It's usually made in chemical industrial zones.
Yeah.
You know that level in Sonic 2?
Yes.
It's made there. They deep fry this gluten bar.
Yeah.
Then they cover it in spice and salt.
Yes.
And so she wants to eat it, but she is Shanghua. She's got a thing, right?
So what's she going to do?
Let's see her solution.
Okay.
It's going to hurt her sore, right?
Okay, yeah.
That's a lot of la tiao.
What is this disgusting stuff you found?
This
is a fetish.
No, this is going viral on Chinese
Okay.
internet. This is how she's avoiding the Shanghua.
Just eat it.
It's so gross. She doesn't care.
Yeah.
She just gave up. She doesn't care anymore.
Yeah, I get it.
But it hurts. So I thought that was an interesting way to explain Shanghua to you guys. Because this concept probably doesn't exist in your country. You can eat whatever you want, right?
Yeah.
It's not going to change.
I mean, within reason. If you eat unhealthy, it is going to affect you.
It will. But to say, I can't drink this beer or eat these peanuts because I'll get acne.
Yeah.
It's just, my throat's going to hurt. You know what I mean?
It's maybe just don't eat a lot of rubbish street food.
Maybe don't eat la tiao.
Yeah, la tiao's garbage.
La tiao is going to give you anything you believe in health-wise, that will give it to you.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, you don't have to keep pausing. Okay, so this was going around.
Yeah.
This has actually made its rounds multiple times, and it makes me laugh every single time. And I want to try not to laugh.
Okay, let's try.
Scenario.
So he's being stopped, and they're going to give him a breathalyzer test.
Correct.
All right, so let's take a look.
你先吹，你吹啊啊！
I just love.
I like that kind of base humor.
It's very low, but for some reason it just gets me every time.
No, I really like it.
I want you guys in the comment section / in the chat as well.
Yeah.
No matter where you are, because you might not be watching this live. If
Sure.
you are, you can put it in chat. Tell me what you think is wrong with this. We're not going to explain it to you. Play it.
Okay, we're just gonna play it and then see.
What
if
do you
people
think
pick
is
up
wrong
on-
here?
Okay.
Not him falling down. What's wrong here? Maybe just pause it. Yeah. What's wrong?
Yeah, and then we'll look at the comments later.
Recently, there's been a lot of flooding.
Oh,
in China.
yeah, it's crazy.
It's absolutely insane. Some of the aftermath and some of the places that have been cleared up. Looks like a city was moved.
I don't want to show too much of it here in the show because it starts to blend together and you just think like, oh, I don't care anymore.
Yeah.
But if you see the amount of devastation and how high those floodwaters have gone up, it's insane. It's just incredible. Yeah, and there's a lot of damage and a lot of death and a lot of, loss, but you don't really hear about it, do you? Because it's not the kind of thing China wants people to know about.
Doug and Battle Bard and Abu Kumar, everyone's right. It's the wrong leg.
It's the wrong leg.
He's jumping on the broken foot. What are you doing?
Maybe it wasn't broken in the first place. I mean, why's he got crutches if he's going to be hopping on one foot?
So in wrestling terms, right, in WWE, they'll fake an injury to get someone off TV. Be like, oh, he hurt his leg or whatever, and then they'll see him walking around or whatever in real life. That's what happened. Maybe he's just a pro wrestler.
What's going on here?
I don't know. Why are you asking me?
Oh, I guess we'll just watch it.
别跟娘们似的，真哭了。
What are you showing us?
It's funny.
Okay.
The wife's obviously mad and she's crying about something, and he's like, "Oh, look, she's really crying," and then she spits on him.
Yeah, because she's not actually
mad.
crying.
No, she's crying.
Was she?
Yeah, she's upset about something. She's mad that he's filming.
Oh, I see.
Why are you getting all offended by these incredibly front page normal Douyin clips?
No idea.
I thought this was funny.
Yeah.
You gotta back up and get us out of there.
Okay,
I'll
I'll back
read the
up.
subtitles.
Okay. All right.
You gotta watch. You gotta get spit on again.
No, that's
So
toilet humor.
This guy.
Yeah.
Is that toilet humor?
It's people spitting on people's toilet humor.
Is that?
Yeah, 100%.
I always thought that was poop and pee stuff.
No, anything that's bodily fluids is toilet humor.
Interesting. Potty humor. Yeah, I would never think about it like that.
Anyway, let's continue.
Yes,
Yeah.
let's move on to this. So this is really fun. I thought this was so stupid it was funny.
Yeah.
This is going around the Chinese internet.
Absolutely.
So this guy is doing one of those kind of surprise interviews.
Yeah.
You know, where they walk up to people.
Yeah.
And they're, you'll often see this outside of bars and
Yeah.
stuff. You
Okay,
walk in-
well, one.
yeah, so he goes up to this this girl and calls her like classmate. Says, classmate, can you give me something to play with? Which sounds very suggestive.
It does.
Right?
It does.
That means like, give me something to play with. And if you heard that, you'd be like, what?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, yikes. Right?
Yeah.
能给我玩玩吗？
He's like, give me something to play with. She's like, what am I going to give you to play? It's like this. She was like carrying some stick.
Why is she carrying a random
I
stick?
don't know, but like,
Yeah.
it was set up so well to like throw her off because she's
Yeah,
probably like, why would a perv be asking me something like this?
Yeah, and then it's
she's
like a
supposed to play
stick,
This
yeah.
dumb stick she's carrying.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Okay, this?
So these dudes, have you ever ridden in the back of a mianbaoche, a bread van?
Yeah.
So they call these things bread vans in China. It's the cheapest car you can buy. It's
Yeah,
just
they're
like
ridiculous little vans.
tiny little thing based on like an old Suzuki little van. They don't move. They're the slowest vehicle.
They got
in
like
the
an
world.
800cc engine,
Yeah.
sometimes a 1.2.
Like 30 horsepower.
Yeah,
or something.
they're stupid, but they get the job done.
Yes. So this guy driving, he says, "Do you believe me that it's gonna have like a pull you back feeling,
Yeah,
like
in his
like when you're in a fast car, it
Yeah,
pulls you
exactly.
back or whatever." And
Absolutely.
the guy's like,
yeah. Let's
信不
see.
信你找个推背的感觉？你可拉倒！我就是一个
"Like, are you kidding me? This car, the seat is unbuttoned."
That's
I just
great.
wanted to show you the seat cover there,
Yeah. Let's go back to the seat cover.
which I thought was amazing. In a car that new costs like $1,000. It's
Yeah.
like a Dolce and Gabbana.
Yeah,
seat
Dolce and
covers.
Gabbana. Yeah, exactly. Seat
love
covers.
those.
It's pretty funny. Now this, what you're looking at here, is a Tiger 4x4, which is a Chinese armored vehicle, and Bolivia recently had an attempted coup. I don't know if you guys know about that or not, but like 2 days ago or something. So the military stormed the parliament, or I guess the government building, with these, armored vehicles which they'd purchased from China.
They look so derpy. What is that? Not the people, the
Yeah.
vehicle.
I can't
see
remember.
the people.
It's a Tiger 4x4 is what it's called. So what is
The
it?
windows look ridiculous.
Yeah, it looks like there's
Why does
space
it have
for
a target on it? It's like, shoot here. This is where the man is.
Yeah, maybe that's their military symbol.
This
I
is
don't
where the
know.
driver is.
Yeah. So anyway, they were on their way to the coup, and one of the vehicles,
As you do.
armored vehicles, the wheel hit the curb. Okay? Let's see what happened. I'll get out of there for a second. So this vehicle, the wheel hit the curb. And the tie rod snapped.
Oh, I see it straight. See that?
Yeah, see, one wheel's off to the side, one wheel straight. Now, here's the thing. If you have an armored vehicle, it's supposed to be tougher than, like, let's say, a Honda Civic.
Yeah.
But it's not if it's a Chinese armored vehicle. Because if you hit that curb...
the war.
Yeah, exactly. If you hit that curb in your mom's Hyundai, you might bend the tie rod, but you're probably not going to break it. You'd still be able to drive off, okay? But they couldn't. They couldn't fix it either.
Chinese military vehicles
Yeah, that's
break
kind of...
their tie rods
Yeah.
when you curb them.
Yeah, when you hit a curb. So just so you know, don't buy Chinese military hardware.
I'm sorry, but my Toyota wouldn't even break if it did that.
Remember we fixed that Toyota MR2
Yes.
that had been T-boned?
Yes.
And the entire tie rod had bent. It was like it got hit at high speed, but we could still drive it. I just
Yeah.
needed to adjust it.
It
and
was
we could
fine.
drive it. Yeah, and I
at this.
replaced it
Oh, it's
eventually.
gone now.
Yeah,
It doesn't matter.
yeah. I mean, just saying. Okay,
No need to dwell.
no need to dwell. All right. So before we continue, we have a word.
Yes. We love AG1. AG1 is probably one of our best sponsors we've ever had, and it's something that we drink every single day.
Absolutely.
Mix it with some water. Ding, 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 ding. Drink it down. You've got all your vitamins and minerals that you need for the entire day.
Yeah.
It's research backed. It's fantastic nutritional supplement.
Athletes take it.
Athletes drink it, and we drink it. We're not
we're not
athletes.
athletic, no.
So if you're not an athlete or you're an athlete, this is good for you too,
Yeah.
right? Drinking your AG1 is fantastic. It's a foundational nutritional supplement that delivers daily nutrients and gut health support and is backed by multiple research studies, so you can trust what you're putting in your body. We noticed that our energy was a little bit lower. When we started drinking AG1, we had a massive, massive uptick in energy.
Correct.
Absolutely loved it. We were able to get our work done. We were able to work longer, which has been fantastic.
Yep.
And we're able to trust it because it's just so awesome, and so many people that we trust also drink it.
There's a
It's this
reason why
wonderful
we've
thing.
had them as part of the show for years now.
Absolutely. So we've absolutely loved it. I just wanted to say a little shout out for our link down below. You guys can go in the description as well. You can go in the description or the pinned comment.
Sure.
If there's one product I trust to support my whole body health, it's AG1, and that's why we've partnered with them for so long. It's easy and satisfying to start your journey with AG1. Try AG1 and get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3K2 and get 5 free AG1 travel packs with your first purchase at drinkag1.com/ADV. That's drinkag1.com/ADV. Check it out.
Yep, and now back to the show. Next, we're going to be going into Soft Power Hour, which is our main segment of the show. And within the Soft Power Hour, we're going to be showing you Slopaganda and Beyond the Great Firewall, actually, today. So there have been some, how should we say, disturbing things happening in China recently.
Yeah.
When you say
Yeah. Hopefully we can make a little bit of light of it, because some of this stuff's going to get very heavy. And I will pre-warn people, like one of these clips in particular made me very upset.
Yeah,
That's
but
not maimed
it's
bodies or anything
No,
like that.
it's nothing like that.
But
that's
it's
gonna-
just like so... Oh, it's so gross and bad what they've been teaching.
Yeah, it's
people.
very necessary for us to cover
It
this
is.
stuff.
It is.
So I'm pretty sure by now, since we covered it on the show, but in China we had some nonsense with some foreigners being stabbed recently. Okay, so not only did we have the 4 American professors or from America, they were stabbed, okay, in a xenophobic attack in China in a tourist area, but we've also recently had a horrific attack on Japanese school children in a school bus, which has actually left someone dead. And we'll talk about that, but it's basically the ramp up of xenophobic attacks against foreigners in China is real.
Yeah. So Beyond the Great Firewall is where we show you the stuff that China's trying to cover up, but it's on their internet in China, and they don't want the rest of the world to know about it.
Yeah. But first, we're going to start with something a little humorous.
I've wanted, and I thought it was incredibly necessary
Sure.
to make sure you go into this not so down.
Yes.
So we prepped you. You're kind of like down here. We'll bring you back up here, and then we'll bring you down
Yeah,
here.
yeah, yeah.
All right. We'll just be a free
Yeah,
fall.
yeah.
So a while back, you had filmed this clip, and this
Yeah.
is you were pulling this B-roll out the other day.
Yeah,
And we
yeah.
noticed something, and we found the answer to the question.
Yes, because
as to
remember, we're
why.
looking at this, and notice there's a guy behind this woman
Yeah.
wearing a Linkin Park t-shirt. And remember, I said, there's no way this dude's ever listened to Linkin Park in his life. And then we both remembered.
Because it's not that popular. In
No,
China.
no, especially
Maybe in Shanghai. They had one show in Shanghai. Or
Yeah,
something.
especially not in, the
Where we
dude
were,
who's
yeah.
dragging the broken bits of electronics around
Yeah.
the back alleys of Huajianbei. He's not the kind of guy who's rocking out to Linkin Park.
No, that's more. You'd have local Chinese music, techno, like Chinese happy hardcore techno, that kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, exactly. So anyway, the fact of the matter is, I was saying, like, I saw these Linkin Park t-shirts all over China.
Yeah.
And it was just crazy, and I couldn't figure it out because I didn't ever once hear Linkin Park in China.
No, I'd never heard it
Yeah,
once.
it's just one of those weird things. Like,
So we were discussing it.
Yeah.
And I noticed one thing about this. I
Yeah.
pointed this out to you, and you're like, yeah, get closer to this guy's shirt.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. What about
It's only this specific, because there's hundreds of Linkin Park t-shirt
Sure.
designs, right? It's only this specific one about
Al-
like
always.
It's some tour, like
it? Yeah,
in
Minutes to Midnight.
Minutes to Midnight or
something,
something.
yeah.
It says Minutes to Midnight Linkin Park, right? And it's only that shirt.
Only that shirt,
It's only
yeah. Mm-hmm.
that shirt and variations of that
Yeah,
design. So it's like, why are people promoting this so much, especially when Linkin Park was banned?
Yeah, they're
from
not allowed to
playing
go to China.
Yeah, in China after 2011 because they
Yeah.
opposed to the Dalai Lama.
And I took this particular footage, I probably took around about 2017, 18.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, it was 2018. We looked
Yeah,
it up.
yeah.
I took this particular clip in 2018. So Linkin Park's not allowed to go to China.
Minutes to Midnight album. That's
Yeah.
right. That's right.
All right. So why are they wearing Linkin Park t-shirts everywhere if it's banned? They're banned in the country.
So a fantastic Wired journalist, you know that
Yeah,
magazine
yeah, yeah.
Wired or whatever, tech magazine, went to China to figure it out.
Yeah.
Right. And he or she became obsessed with this.
Okay.
right?
I was just trying to read that guy's t-shirt.
Absolutely. Yeah. What did that one say?
I couldn't see. It was too blurry.
Oh man, I thought that would have been kind of funny.
Yeah. Anyway.
Because there were variations of it that which said Kinkin Park.
Kinkin Park.
And this started going viral on the internet. People were like, why are Chinese people wearing Linkin Park and Kinkin Park t-shirts? You can pause it there first.
Okay. Sure.
So he or she's like, I got to go to China to figure this out. Scrubbed everything, went to all like the knockoff markets and everything, trying to ask people, figured out, maybe they go on Taobao and find out these suppliers and stuff.
Yeah.
Turns out it's a combination of, it's called like third party manufacturing or something. So basically what'll happen is a manufacturer in China will get an order, say, I got to make 10,000 Linkin Park t-shirts or whatever. Then there'll be some with mistakes or something and run off like that they'll sell on the black market.
Yeah.
But if something starts to gain some popularity or it looks like the market's flooded with these things, other people will make versions of them too.
Yes.
So basically tons of different people were making different versions of this exact logo and t-shirt. And you had like old ladies wearing it.
Yeah,
And I remember
yeah.
seeing old men wearing it. I was
That's
like,
it.
why are they wearing
Yeah,
Linkin
why is
Park
everyone wearing
t-shirts? This
Linkin
guy's like
Park
80
t-shirts?
And
Yeah.
he's in the park doing
Yeah,
like Tai Chi or
exactly.
whatever.
Yeah.
And so it was this combination of like knockoffs and this weird everyone's doing it, so everyone else is going to
Yep.
do it. It's pretty funny, and it still persists.
Yeah, it still persists today. I mean, this is also another warning. If you're getting anything manufactured in China, you kind of end up undercutting yourself as well.
Yeah.
Because, for instance, Nike factory will make Nikes, but then they also make the same shoe without the branding on it, in the same factory, and then they just sell it as their own product to the local market. So they take over the Chinese market.
Yeah, I won't say the brand because I
Yeah.
mean, this happens to so many.
Yeah.
But there's one specific brand that was making a very expensive article of clothing, and what those people were doing in the factory is when the factory was done for the day, they'd go and manufacture more of the same thing, and either make something about it like a little bit different,
Yeah.
or take some for themselves and like sell it for way, way, way cheaper.
Yeah.
So it's the real thing, but it's not.
Yeah.
Like it's from that factory.
It's made in the same factory by the same people.
Yeah, but not for that brand,
yeah.
right? So it's interesting.
Yeah.
It happens a lot.
So that explains away the Linkin Park t-shirt phenomenon, which is still big in China.
yeah.
Kinkin Park, dude. Kinkin Park. Okay, Beyond the Great Firewall Part 2, Simba's Pride.
This is where it gets dark. I want to cheer
Okay.
you guys up a little bit.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we wanted to show you a progression here, okay? In China, in the last couple of years, it's been very popular to make skits for social media. Anti-Japanese skits. I mean, look, the government puts anti-Japanese TV shows on every single day of the week. You cannot turn a Chinese TV on without seeing one of those fantasy war dramas where the Japanese are being bad and then the peasants rise up and slaughter them all and stuff. It's like just the way it is. It's like power for the course, right? But now civilians are in their own time making and putting out there, and the government does it too, these kind of skits. So let's just talk about this.
What would you say the source of their imagination is?
Oh, yeah.
My source is that I made it the f*** up.
Not this.
What's their source of imagination to come up with
The
this?
source of imagination. I'm sorry.
Where I can find the source of imagination. Where?
So their sork is definitely from the government. I'm saying
Yes.
this is not organic.
No, this is not organic. Remember, from early childhood all the way to adulthood, Chinese people are taught in education and through the media that Japanese people are evil and bad. That's just the way it is, okay?
Yeah.
And also foreigners are evil and bad.
Yeah.
Now, this is the kind of skit that's got fairly high production and goes around and gets
Just play in the background.
millions and millions of views. But let's kind of describe what's going on here.
Okay, so there's some kids and they're saying like, oh, the youth, because if you're united, you're strong or whatever. And then this random Japanese woman comes out of this place, this Japanese school, and she's like, "You're bothering my sleep, you little pigs."
And like tries to slap one of them.
Yeah.
It looks like it's like stop. So here's the important part, right? So the kids.
This is a skit, YouTube. Chill out.
Yeah, it's a skit.
Relax.
So this is our China or whatever, and he like kicks her. Now this is the part that I want to pay attention to. Is this normalizes violence against Japanese people.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of normal for them to put out a skit like this.
As they've been doing since Mao's time on TV, literally.
Yeah, exactly. But it's like, okay, it's okay for like a schoolboy to kick a woman just because she's Japanese.
This is simulated YouTube.
Yeah, it's simulated, but still.
I know, I'm just getting YouTube to back off. Chill out.
The reason why these skits exist is because they're encouraged.
Yeah.
Not only are they encouraged, but endorsed by the government. And the reason I say they're endorsed is anything that's posted on the Chinese internet, if it's not censored and it's not blocked, because remember, it's the most controlled internet in the world. If I post something on the Chinese internet that's like violent or bad or controversial in any way, if it's not taken down, that's because the Chinese government gave it a check.
Yep.
They're like, yes, that's okay.
fine.
It's got to pass.
Why do you think when I scrolled Douyin that there were so many of these and they're viral now? And it's weird. They're all surrounding this very ridiculous straw man thing where like a Japanese person is in China for some reason and they're being mean.
Yeah.
And
So
they're like, I hate you, stupid people. You're bad. And they're like, don't you dare say that.
So,
stand on a Chinese flag or something. Like this would ever happen.
it would never happen. So like the Japanese guys come out and they're like, hey, this is our Japanese school, don't interrupt us. And then the Chinese teacher comes out and says, you guys are bad and all this nonsense.
and
The usual kind of crap, and let's point fingers. And they end up going and destroying the school, basically. You know what I mean? They're like, you get us out of here. Get out of here, you Japanese. What are you doing here?
Right.
Okay, now it's important to show how socially acceptable it is to show violence against ordinary Japanese citizens just for being Japanese.
Where do you think this anti-foreigner sentiment's coming from, guys?
Yeah, why do you think there are people stabbing Japanese people in China?
Yeah.
And by the way, this is not an isolated incident. It wasn't that long ago that a Japanese guy was stabbed as well. Not that long ago, and it happens more than you would care to know. Look, they're like, let's go fight the Japanese and bring in our troops of school kids.
I mean, like, this is just so dumb, and they're all dumb. They're all mad dumb.
They're dumb, but again, like I said, I'm
not belittling.
Yeah, no. The takeaway from it is that they are normalizing violence against random Japanese people in China.
Yes.
It's okay. It's seen as a patriotic thing. It's seen as something that's healthy. It's seen as something that you should do if you're a true Chinese person.
It's getting people riled up.
Yeah, I mean, come on. Imagine you're an impressionable young man and you see this every day of your life. Look, they're like
literally every day of your life. Yeah.
They're smashing the school's sign now, destroying it. They're like
Japanese school.
Yeah, it's like, how dare you get it? And they say, get out of China. That's what they said there.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, look how proud we are, and all this nonsense.
Have their patriotic shirts. So then they go and then finish it off with the patriotic chant. So this has been a thing that's been going around. It's been going around in China forever, but it's because of the age of social media, people can make their own thing now. It's not just like CCTV, like the Chinese state television anymore. It's people are making these themselves.
Yeah. So we just wanted to show you the progression. So this is the kind of thing that you see on your social media, and people are liking it and sharing it. It's getting millions, tens of millions, hundreds of millions of views in some cases because, it's good to be proud Chinese nationalists who hates Japanese people.
Now, this flies so deeply and far in the face of what China's doing in their propaganda department, which is trying to show the rest of the world right now that China is open for business.
Yes.
You can invest. You can travel. Please do.
Yeah.
We have this new 140 whatever hour visa.
Yeah.
Visa-free
Come
thing.
see
that
for
you can
yourself.
Come for yourself. We've been getting bombarded with propaganda messages.
Isn't it
about
funny?
that.
One of the biggest things they say when we put something critical about the Chinese government or society, they say, "Oh, you've never been to China. You
Yeah.
come, dude. Like we both lived in China over a decade. We speak
'Cause
the
they don't know
language.
who
We're
they're
married to
dealing with.
Chinese people. We
Yeah.
have Chinese friends and acquaintances in China. We know, dude. We know what we're talking about here.
Yeah.
But it's this whole idea that come see for yourself. But if you do actually go try and see for yourself, and you try to go to Xinjiang or whatever, just try.
Yeah.
Unless
Try.
you go to those very curated, like
Yeah.
Potemkin village things.
We've seen people recently. I don't want to get off topic. We've
Yeah.
seen people recently that have drank the Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
And then go to Xinjiang and they're like, "Oh my gosh, this is bad.
Yeah.
This is really bad." Anyway, so the be-all and end-all here, before we get into this horrible clip,
Yeah.
is that China's trying to have its cake and eat it too. It's trying to show the rest of the world that everything's fine, everything's cool, but then at the same time, domestically in China, they want people to hate the rest of the world. It's
Yeah.
this weird, like, discombobulation. You can't tell your people with state media all the time, everyone is bad except for Chinese people. Everything is bad. We must hate them. We must hate them. America and Japan are the source of all your problems, right?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, when something happens, like a stabbing, stab a bunch of Americans, stab some Japanese people, right?
Isolated incident. We're the safest place. Come and
We're
see
the
us.
safest country in the
Yeah.
world. This doesn't happen. Tries to block all the news. Tries to block everything about it,
Yeah.
and then pumps propaganda out there. The reality is that domestically in China, this is stuff they don't want you to see. Look at how the education system works.
Yeah. Okay. So
I want to set this up. Super
yeah, we'll
quick.
set this up. So there's a volunteer teacher's in a school, okay, in a fairly rural school here, and he's made the children like basically draw like rainbows and stuff and say like, "I love China. I am Chinese." That type of thing.
That's what
right?
you had to write.
Yes. And so like one of the kids was obviously being a little bit rebellious and he said, "I love Japanese people."
Yeah.
Just as like, you know what kids are like, right?
Yeah.
So the teacher says, "Do this." And he probably like had a little snicker. He's a little young kid.
This is what it's
Yeah.
just messing around. And
So-
why is that bad to write, by the way?
Yeah, you can write that.
You
Why
write
not?
whatever you want.
Yeah, I can
Imagine
write-
in America making kids go, no, no creativity here. You have to write, "I'm American and I love America." And if somebody wrote like, "I'm American and I love cake,"
Yeah.
"I'm American and I love Japan," "I'm
What-
American,
what
I
if-
love China."
What if it's somebody whose family's Mexican or
Yeah.
something, and I love Mexico, or
Yeah,
you know what
and
I mean?
everyone would be like, "That's really nice. Share
Yeah.
it with the class. That's really
Yeah.
nice. Yay!"
but not in
Right?
China. So this
Let's see what
guy-
happens.
Yeah, I'll get us out of here so you can see the subtitles. But
This
says-
made me super upset.
it says
中国人的时候忘记写了，那你能写日本人？啊？手伸出来。今天课间
so. This is his picture, right? It's like a rainbow with clouds and some buildings, and it says like "我爱日本人," which means I love Japanese people, which in China it's a mortal sin.
Yeah.
To write something like
He's
this.
just messing around.
Yeah, I mean, come
It's
on.
有几个学生拿着另外一个学生画的画来让我看，说老师你看他画的什么？这是一年级刚上
First grade class, right after an art lesson.
完美术课。我看看你们写的。
Let's see what the others are writing.
我是中国人. Why 中国 means I'm Chinese, I love China. That's what you're supposed to write.
Yeah.
And then a rainbow and a house and a tree.
Yeah,
And you're supposed to do the same thing.
yeah.
Welcome
exactly.
to Chinese education.
Yeah, yeah.
对，这才对嘛。
So he's like, this is correct.
是你画的吗？哎，你跟我说，你为什
So tell me, why you wrote this? Why did you write these
么要
words?
写它？为什么要写这几个字？
He's like, I forgot. I wrote it, you know.
忘记什么？忘记写了。什么叫忘记写了？啊？
He's saying he forgot how to write the character.
Yeah, I
for
forgot how to
Chinese.
write Chinese, so he wrote Japanese.
He's obviously trying to get
Yeah,
whatever.
写
he forgot how to write Chinese, and how do you remember how to write Japanese? He's kind of digging his own grave here, you know.
中国人的时候忘
Unfortunately.
记写了。
You know why he knows how to write Japanese? Is because all the anti-Japanese slogans everywhere. He probably,
Yeah.
probably sees that more than China.
That's probably true.
Yeah, really, seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, let's see.
那你能写日本人？啊？手伸出来。啊？让你写，写。
You dare write it again? So just to remind you guys, corporal punishment's still totally fine in China.
It's actually not. It's completely against
You
the
think
rules.
it's against
no,
the
it's
rules?
not, I think. It's the law.
Well,
They changed
Oh,
it
the
years
law?
ago. Yeah, it's the law.
Well, I mean, if they changed the laws, it certainly didn't change anything.
That's my point.
I saw it with my own eyes.
too.
Not that long. 2019, I saw it.
Me too.
So
2018, I saw it last.
yeah.
Yes.
So again, you're not supposed to be drinking in public either in
Correct.
China. That's the law, but
That's
everyone
what I'm
does
trying
it.
to say.
Exactly. You're not supposed to be counterfeiting that LV bag, but everyone does it. You know what I mean? So the law doesn't really count in China. But
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
So he smacks the boy a couple times, whatever, whips him and on the hand. And then he says, do you dare write it again?
We blanked it out, YouTube.
Yeah.
We blanked that out. Poor kid.
Yeah.
我告诉你，你是中国人，你要记着，听见没有？什么都老师都可以原谅你们，什么错误都可以犯。
He's like, I'm telling you, you're Chinese. You remember that. Any mistake, any wrongdoing can be forgiven by a teacher. But this mistake cannot be forgiven, right? So it's like I'll forgive anything. Like, go murder your classmate, it's okay. But you write, I love Japanese people, and I will never forgive that,
Yeah.
It's like, did you all hear that?
绝对不能犯，知道吗？你们都听见了吗？当着我的面把它撕掉，
It's like, tear it up in front of me. All right.
使劲撕。
Tear it up forcefully. Throw it in the trash.
谁再敢写这样的
If anyone dares to write something like this again, I will send you home directly.
话，我直接就让你回家，听见没有？啊，这个学校不要你，
The school doesn't want you. We don't want students like you.
You're doing this to the kid.
Yeah, this, I mean, it's so unfair. The kid is right there, and he's
Yeah.
like saying to everyone, if anyone writes this, we'll send you right home. The school doesn't want you. We don't want students like you,
你给我记住了吗？刚才我
So this is the guy.
This
all right?
is the worst part. So
Yeah.
you would think, let's just think. Let's do a thought experiment here.
Sure.
Let's think, okay, this guy is going to get lambasted on the Chinese internet, which a lot of people were very against this, right? Sure. However, he goes on to explain, not like, oh, I'm sorry. It goes on to explain why this was justified.
Yeah, he goes to, he put this online.
Yes.
This is the stupidest thing. So he does this,
Yeah,
and then he
puts it
online.
I
saying,
thought
like,
this was going to be
"I am so
commentary
good."
from someone else.
No, this is him.
He uploaded this.
Yeah, let's take a look what
Because
he
that's
said.
how okay this is.
Yeah, so he's like, I was
真
angry
的很
just
生
now.
气，我打了这个学生，
Yeah, I hit the student.
我知道
I know it's not good for
老师打学
teachers
生
to hit students,
不好，但是呢，有些事情
but I believe some things must be strictly
Just
taught.
play, we can
我觉
read
得
over
必
it.
须要严厉的教育他。虽然我们小时候
So when I was a child, I also played games where some kids played the 8th Root Army and some played Japanese devils.
也去玩这种打仗的游戏有人扮八路军，有人扮日本人，对吧？然后在自己鼻子
Drawing black mustaches under their noses.
上抹一点黑，鼻子下面抹一点黑，然后玩过
I
这样
played
的
those
游
games
戏
too, but I knew I was playing the role of a villain.
但是呢，都是以坏人的身份角色来扮演的。那么出现
But today, the kid wrote, I love Japanese people on the
写
paper.
的纸面上这句话，我觉得必须要让他们认
I think it's extremely necessary for him to realize the seriousness of this issue.
识
After
到
hitting him,
问题的严重性，而且
I went to other classrooms to emphasize to all the students that this mistake is not allowed to happen again. So, I mean, he didn't just do it to his own class, he went to all the other classes. So he hits him, and then he goes, tells everyone else, and then he goes to all the other classes to make sure this mistake will never happen again, right? What else does he say?
我在几个班都走了一圈，把这个问题都严厉的强调了一下。虽然说是我们
Although I know Although I know that in today's society, order does not allow us to seek revenge or take action.
现在当下社会不可能去报仇或者去干什么这是现代社会不允许。但是呢
We must always keep this national humiliation in our hearts. Is that a healthy thing?
That's what's taught. That's why they show like 5-year-olds in China. They show them like images of like mutilated corpses that the Japanese. By the way, the Japanese did horrible things.
Absolutely,
in China,
no one's denying that.
They teach that to children and make sure they have that hatred in their hearts at all times.
Yeah, exactly.
It's that's what dictatorships do.
Yeah,
it's common, very common.
Horrific. I mean, like, dude, this happened before your parents were born. Okay, like, get the hell out of here with your nonsense. And by the way, did you notice he's wearing like an American cap?
I was about to say, please take that off.
Yeah,
this does not. If you want to show the world that you support American values and freedom, I'll tell you what you just did is not that.
Yes, agreed.
This doesn't fly here.
He's got like an American eagle flag cap.
This you should wear a demon hat.
You should
I don't even know.
Just wear a Mao hat and get it over with, you know? Yeah. Let's see what else this idiot says.
American flag and a bald eagle.
Yes.
Take that off.
Yeah. Absolutely will not allow the children to forget. You see why this is a problem, you know? And we've explained this before. We've shown you the footage of them teaching kindergartners to like shoot Japanese and bayonet them and stuff. But you are literally stoking their fires of hatred and not letting them die.
What do you think you just did to this child?
Yeah.
This poor kid made a joke. By the way, it shouldn't even be a joke. You should be able to be right.
You should. Why can't you?
Why can't you love Japanese people?
There's nothing wrong with
That's
Japanese
really
people.
sweet. That's a really sweet thing to say.
Yeah, I love Japanese people.
Me
I got
too, and
Japanese
I love Chinese
friends.
people.
Yes, I love Korean people.
I love all people,
Yes.
right? And for a kid to single something out and say, I love Japanese people, there's nothing wrong with that. But let's just say in your twisted, warped fantasy that's bad, right? You got to let that go.
Yeah.
You don't publicly reprimand a kid. Take a video of it,
Yeah.
upload it online, and also get the entire class to shame him so he feels ostracized. What do you think is going to happen to his psyche about Japanese people in the future?
Sure.
What do you think is going to happen?
What's going to happen to his psyche in general?
In general,
Yeah.
right? I just realized something now. I was started to squint so I could focus a little more on the hat.
Yeah.
I noticed something.
What?
That's an AVP hat.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, look.
Oh, yeah. Maybe it is.
Definitely
Maybe it is.
AVP.
Anyway, let's see what
绝对
finishes
绝对不
what he
能
finishes
忘
up
掉
with.
的。虽然我今天打了孩子，我心也很痛，我也知道
Sure does.
小孩子可能不懂事，
I believe hitting him is necessary, you know?
但是我觉
That's
得
what he says.
必须要打他。有人可能会骂我，或者举报我，或者干什么都可以，没关系。这个事情我认，而且我给全校的师生强调过。总而言之，就一句话：铭记历史。
Remember history. Never forget national humiliation, because that's what you got to remember, is to be humiliated.
勿忘国耻。我是阿杰，一名大凉山里的
Yeah,
助教老
volunteer
师。
teacher, Darlingshan. Okay, so now we have a guy in his early 50s, and by the way, you're seeing a lot of these stabbings are being committed by people in their 50s. It just seems to be the thing.
Yeah.
The guy in his 50s tried to murder a bus of school children, Japanese school children.
Yep.
Okay, and he actually stabbed a Japanese mother who was waiting at the bus stop and her little toddler, a little child. They both survived. But he wanted to get on the bus and stab all the children.
Yes.
And one of the bus attendants, because, you know, the school bus is going to have, you know, like a lady who gets out and helps the kids on and off the bus.
Yes.
She actually prevented him from getting on the bus.
Yes.
Very heroic. She stood in front of him and he killed her. She's dead. He stabbed the hell out of her and she died. Okay? And it just honestly shows you that hatred is not the way. Because this bastard nationalist who tried to murder children, all he ended up, Japanese children, the only thing he ended up doing is killing one of his own countrymen, a Chinese woman who was actually heroic. It just shows you his intent and his goal to murder Japanese people ended up just killing a Chinese person.
Yeah.
It's dumb. It's like those stupid anti-Japanese riots they have all the time in China. What do? They like overturn Toyotas and smash sushi shops and stuff. But it's like all stuff that's owned by Chinese people. So all they do is damage Chinese people's property.
Yeah, the sushi shop near where I was during one of the anti-Japanese protests was completely destroyed, had zero Japanese ownership.
Yep.
It was on the guy was like, I'm Chinese. I'm a proud Chinese. I'm a nationalist. I'm a patriot. You just destroyed my shop.
Yeah, it's
You know what I
ridiculous.
mean?
It's insane. But you see where this leads to. You start with all this absolute garbage like skits of beating Japanese people up that are going around social media.
You have the school children learning
Yes.
in school over and over again, we must hate Japan, we must hate Japanese people, right?
And they're punished if they don't go along with it. You know, you get all the stuff in the media all the time telling you the Japanese people are evil, the Japanese devils and stuff. What do you think's going to happen?
Yeah.
It's going to just make some like crazy eventually snap. And he's going to want to take out his frustrations on Japanese people, which is exactly what happened here. Okay, so there are a couple of things we have to discuss about this. First of all, there have been people who, rightly so, calling the lady who stepped in and stopped the murderer from murdering other children a hero, which she is, and people are drawing pictures like this of her.
Yeah, that's in tribute.
Yeah, in tribute. Former ambassador, Japanese ambassador, said this should never be downplayed. 2 Japanese and 4 Americans have been stabbed in China. One has to wonder whether aggressive languages by wolf warriors and loose condemnation of xenophobic behavior by Chinese authorities led to this. Worrying. And this is correct, because loose condemnation is what you see. You know, if it makes the news in China, do they ever say, like, don't be patriotic or don't be, like, xenophobic? They never say that. They just say the perpetrator was apprehended quickly.
It's more like the 90% of the focus that you'll see in response to these events, if they're somehow make it to the light of day in China, which they rarely do.
Exactly, like that other Japanese man that was stabbed not that long ago. We didn't hear about it, didn't make international news.
No. When this happens, the response is, don't worry about this. China's super, super safe. And for example, as we're about to see, the actions of this one heroic Chinese person show that all Chinese people are brave, and under the leadership of socialism and Chinese characteristics, the Chinese government will make sure that China's awesome and amazing. You have nothing to worry about.
They never say, okay, populace, it's not okay to stab Japanese people.
Maybe don't do that.
Yeah, okay, populace, it's not okay to attack foreigners.
Let's not hate.
No, what they say is they say, oh, the perpetrator was apprehended quickly and, you know, is being dealt with.
When we pick this apart, you'll find something very interesting. Some omissions.
Yeah, some omissions for sure. Okay, so this is, first of all, the Rimmen Ribao, which is the, you know, People's Daily article that goes out there. What does it say? What does their headline say?
So it says Hu Yaoping, this is the woman, right?
Yeah.
She was the hero.
This is the woman who sadly died defending the children.
Yes.
Yeah.
So she was brave, but you know what I'm missing? Can you get us out of there? I just want to look at this.
Yeah.
So this one on the right is a Weibo post.
Yeah, it's a Weibo post.
And it mentions that the victims were Japanese.
Yes.
But the one on the left does not say that, and that is official state media.
Yes.
We started to pick up on this, right?
Yeah.
This woman's being shown as a hero, which she should be.
Yes.
We applaud her efforts, and may it not be in vain.
The official statement from the government about this mentions nothing about the victims being Japanese.
No.
There's not a single mention of that.
Nope.
You know what they do mention is
go to the next slide so you can see.
Okay.
I think I put it in there.
They mention that, you know, she stopped a perpetrator from doing a bad thing.
Oh, no, that's just on the bottom.
This is the official statement from the government.
It doesn't say anything
Yes.
about them being foreigners
Yes.
or Japanese.
Yep.
And it goes on to basically stroke its own ego about how the government's departments, this and that, held the ceremony for this and that. And it never goes into why this happened. Mm-hmm. And it then cheapens her achievement by saying this represents all Chinese people. And this is how brave people are. And then you realize they don't want people to know that these were Japanese victims. And they don't want people to know that there were foreigners that were attacked.
Yes.
They don't want them to know.
I think this person said it best when they said some commentators believe that the deliberate avoidance of facts about Japanese and school bus in the official report just shows that saving Japanese is a controversial act in China. The authorities deliberately tried to downplay the impact of the incident, but in the end, due to insufficient narrative, it became public common opinion event. So basically, because they tried to suppress it, people are talking about it more. But it's absolutely true. Because, again, the Chinese government constantly tells everybody how bad Japanese people are. So how weird would it be for them to say saving a Japanese person is good? So the actual official releases from the government didn't mention anything about Japanese people, which is disgusting. The Japanese embassy raised the flag down to half-mast in China. The Japanese embassy put out a lovely statement about the woman and saying that they believe that this is, Chinese people are courageous and all this kind of stuff.
She's a hero.
And I'll be honest, I don't think it's deserved for them to be putting out a statement officially like that when the Chinese government officially puts out horrific statements about Japanese people all the time.
But it's good that they
of
did,
course, because
that's what diplomacy is.
That's what's proper diplomacy is, like you said. But the Japanese embassy has been very courteous and appreciative of this hero, and the Chinese government is loving the fact that she's a hero, but doesn't want to say anything about her saving Japanese people. Right? It's disgusting. Now, in the usual fashion, people wanted to go and leave flowers at the site of the attack at this bus stop, okay, where the Japanese school bus, was attacked. And people that were taking and leaving their flowers were confronted by plainclothes police who took all the flowers away. This seems to happen every time.
Yeah.
So these are posts from people that are like, what the hell? We went there to go and put flowers down and these people took them away.
Yeah.
And then it's like, we don't know what's going on.
We can show. Right?
Some people are really pissed off because their flowers got taken away. And then, there was a weak statement later. What does it say?
Suzhou citizens presented flowers to Hu Yaoping at the station. The flowers were all taken away. It is sad that it was said that it was collected by the security guard of the SHKP Center. We can only believe this rumor. At a small bus stop, there were at least 20 plainclothes men who tried all kinds of tricks to take away the flowers from the hands of passerbys, because my son and I wanted to deliver flowers in Huzhou. We had a big fight with a few plainclothes men. You are so embarrassing.
Yeah, you're such an embarrassment. That's what they're trying to say. So, this happens a lot. They came out with a statement later, oh no, we're going to take these flowers and put them at a funeral home or whatever. But here's the thing. If there's a site of a tragedy and you want to pay tribute and you go try to put flowers down and, you turn your back 1 second and some little man runs out and grabs them and runs away with it, like, that's just BS, Often if I'm driving on a road, I'll see there's a wreath or a little cross or something on the side. I know somebody died there in an accident. Yeah. It reminds me of the human cost of bad driving or, accidents and stuff. It's important.
Yeah.
And China, especially the local governments, they don't want people to be reminded about this. They want this out of the public eye. They want to say like, no, sure, something happened, but forget about it. Nothing to see here. Yeah. So what do? Flowers, get rid of them.
Yeah.
It's disgusting. Very, very upset about that. But this is pretty much what's going to happen if you teach your entire nation to hate. And as further example of this, immediately after the stabbing, before the news of the Chinese woman had died yet, because they just said she was in critical condition, immediately you had people coming out in support, saying they support the attacker. They're like, I wish I'd done it, like, congratulations, this is amazing, that kind of thing, all over Chinese social media. We've blurred out those comments because there are some so disgusting. We're not even going to talk about them, but what they would do to Japanese children, So this is, again, just further proof of this is what you get. You reap what you sow. Okay, if you're going to continue, what do they say? You sow what you reap.
Yeah, what was that one?
yeah, exactly.
You sow what you reap.
Exactly, yeah. With Goldilocks and the.
I guess if you're going on the next harvest cycle.
Yes, exactly.
Right? It's grown into seed.
Yeah.
You sow it, and that's what you reap.
But you don't sow what you reap.
You reap the seed.
Yeah, you reaped it.
You're on round 2.
Okay, that's true.
Yeah.
Don't you reap a harvest though? You don't reap the seeds.
You do, but then. Think about it. You let some of that bolt to seed, so you can go for the next round.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Anyway, like at the end of the day, disgusting comments supporting the murderer.
Yeah. Of course, this is not the majority, but this is the fact this happened. What are you surprised that a ton of thousands of people came out with these comments? Are you surprised? Of course not. It's what you taught your people to do.
Yeah, exactly. And then, of course, Mao Ning comes out there with her little speech to say
for the foreign ministry.
Yeah, the foreign ministry. She says, "Oh yeah, it's an isolated incident, and China's the safest country in the world for foreigners to come and visit."
具体信息呢，我建议你等待警方的这个权威信息，因为据我了解呢，警方目前对这个事件还在做调查。我想说的是呢，警方初步判断这是一起偶发事件。中国是世界上公认的最安全的国家。
是中国是世界最安全的。 BS. It's not the safest place for foreigners to go. And that is because foreigners are blamed for all the problems. It's not the safest place.
I don't even know what to say.
Yeah.
I don't even know.
It's rubbish. Imagine that's what you say, rather than like, this is horrific and we send our regards to the families of the Japanese people that were attacked or something. It's like, no, it's the safest place. Isolated incident. Remember, we looked up isolated incident and Google Translate. It means China mass stabbing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Happens all the time.
Dude, okay, I'm sorry, but if anyone follows me on Twitter, I apologize. Because, or X, whatever you want to call it, because every day these days I've been sharing, I put a warning with it. There are stabbing murders in China every single day now. No
It's out of control. Even the Japanese embassy, the consulate put something out. So
they're
like, be careful if you're a Japanese person in China. Not just because of that, because stabbings have been so common.
China's society is at breaking point at the moment because you've got a big downturn in the economy. As much as they try their best to pretend it's not, people are under a lot of strain. There are a lot of people that are breaking mentally. There's not enough mental health
There's no
facilities.
mental health facilities.
Exactly.
There's zero.
There are zero. You're right. And so people are at breaking point. And so we're seeing stabbing murders, mass stabbings. We're seeing a lot of suicides, things like that in China. It is very bad right now. You don't hear about it, so you think it's safe. If you want to hear about it, you can follow me on Twitter, but I wouldn't suggest it. If you like to be a happy person.
Yeah, but you get the info out there.
Yeah, exactly.
我们始终欢迎外国人
we don't need
来
any
中
more
国
moaning.
旅游、
Yeah,
学
she's
习、
oh,
经商、
欢迎
生活。
come
我们也将
come
继续采
come
取
see
有效
China
措
right
施
now.
保
Just
护
don't worry about these xenophobic murders. Come on.
更好在乎外国人的安
Well, that's
全。
your job, right?
So a little bit of something funny, okay?
Yeah, this is just a bit of humor.
Yeah,
Kind
we got to bring it up because
Yeah,
we're
that's
done.
pretty
We're
dumb.
done with the Japanese stabbing incident because we just wanted to lay it out clearly for all of you so that you don't think it's some kind of weird, out of the blue, isolated incident.
There's a reason.
There's a reason why it happened, and there's a reason why this kind of thing will continue to happen in China.
Yes.
Okay, so China Daily, as we all know, put out one of these. They love to latch on to, like, they'll find a random. This is like a random exchange student or something who knows how long they've been in China.
It says no, she's an NGO worker.
Oh, she's an NGO worker?
Says right
Are
there.
you sure?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Literally
Sorry.
says that in Chinese.
No,
Anyway,
you're
go.
absolutely right. But they'll find some random foreigner who's in China for a little program or a little something.
Yeah.
And they'll be like, I've never seen homeless people in China. And for some reason, Chinese state media thinks that person's opinion is so important just because they happen to be a foreigner.
Because it lines up with what they're trying to say.
Yes.
Even if maybe she hasn't, right? And that's fine. I'm not saying she's
but how
lying.
long? I mean, has she been there long?
It doesn't
Has she
matter, right?
Been
The fact
anywhere?
that they choose people randomly because that's exactly what they're trying to put out there right now.
You know what? I never saw a panda in China. I didn't. I did go to Chengdu, but I didn't go to that.
I saw the pandas,
sanctuary.
but you didn't.
No, because
So
I
there
didn't
you
want to go to a tourist thing. I spent 14 years in China. I traveled around the whole of China by motorcycle and by train and by plane. I never saw pandas. So guess what? There are no pandas in China.
They don't exist.
So why doesn't Chinese state media take me saying that and put it out there? This foreigner says there's no pandas in China. Amazing.
You never saw them, so it's not real.
They don't exist.
No.
There are no pandas
That's the
in
same
China.
logic.
It's exactly the same.
Yeah.
It's stupid.
I've
So-
seen thousands of homeless people
Oh,
in China.
dude.
Where's my quote, China
Yeah,
Daily?
exactly.
Foreign man, Lauai86 says that he's seen thousands of homeless people in China. Where's the quote? Where's my interview?
Yeah, exactly. Foreign Man Serpent today filmed
Yes,
hundreds of homeless
them,
people, and I've got proof and I've shown it. Anyway, so China Daily says, I have never seen homeless people in hashtag
Blah, blah.
China.
Yeah.
Very surprising, blah, 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 all this nonsense, the usual kind of garbage, right? See, it is like a youth festival. What is it? I feel like that NGO thing's a bunch of BS.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You feel like that, but it could be real. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
It's a completely out
It's
of
just a
context quote.
some random girl who said, in my 3 hours that I've been here.
Maybe it's true. I don't care. I'm not
Yeah.
disparaging what she said.
So anyway, William Ferris came along and said, she's surprised by homelessness in the US. She must never have read a US newspaper. She's not seeing homelessness in the PRC. She must be staying in the government's Potemkin bubble. Exactly. Some of my photos, all taken in Beijing inside the Third Ring Road, which
That's
means
where all
that's
the-
in the central
the rich
part.
people live.
So, we didn't show his whole thing, but he's got...
This is the part where
Yeah.
they get rid of all the homeless people.
Yes, it is the most important,
Yes.
from an optics
China.
point of view, because because all the tourists go there, so they get rid of the homeless people. But this dude's like, these are some of my own personal photos of homeless people.
He's a great account, by the way.
Yeah, he's
You
great.
should follow him.
Yeah. So he put a whole bunch of photos, you don't see them all there, of homeless people
I
in
put
China.
it on the next slide.
Oh, you did put it on the next slide? Okay, cool. So this is like, these are some of my photos.
I mean, you now times this by 10,000 when you go anywhere else where they don't clean up the homeless people.
Because don't forget, like the Third Ring Road, they clean it up.
Yes.
They will literally go and like pick them up, put them on a bus and take them out. So there it is, in like homeless people in the subway, homeless people on the side of the road.
These are his photos.
These are his own personal photos. We can attest to this because I've also got lots of personal photos of homeless people in China too, which I took, and video clips. So how do you think the CCP shills are going to react to this?
I think they're going to say that it's immoral to take photos of homeless people.
That's exactly.
They're so rich when they say that.
Yeah, so this we cut out. We don't want you to see the account, but this is a very prolific propagandist for Chinese, for China, for the CCP. They said, they replied to him, they said, why are you walking around Beijing taking photos of homeless people, dude? Come on. Would you do this in Taiwan or the US? You can't make a point about using homeless people as a political tool by using homeless people as a political tool.
What? Bro! Next slide, please.
Yeah.
All right, just a little taste. If you want to see what a country does to politicize homeless people, it ain't the USA.
No.
And it ain't England, and it's not wherever you're from.
Yeah,
It's
China.
China. Chinese state media posts hundreds of things just this year about how many homeless people there are in America.
Correct.
They did something called CGTN America. So, by the way, CGTN's allowed to operate an American branch of Chinese state propaganda media.
Yeah.
How do people not look at that and say America is the freaking freest country in the world?
Absolutely, if they allow a friggin' enemy to do this.
An enemy adversarial propaganda department
to criticize them.
Criticize in America.
Yes,
and then go interview and film homeless people.
Yes, exactly.
They did a huge thing called Big Story, homeless inequality in the U.S. They post so let me read this.
Okay.
As California's urban crisis deepens, Big Story, this is Chinese state media, explores its most embattled city to understand the roots of its troubles. Can the Sunshine State turn itself around, or are we witnessing a slow and irreversible descent into an American dystopia?
Oh, but God forbid you take a picture of a homeless person in China, because then you're using homeless people as a political tool.
Homelessness is a political tool.
That's China's playbook.
你说你自己吗? Did you speak about yourself?
Yeah,
It drives
exactly.
me insane.
Me
Every
too.
shill, every Chinese state media account, every X account, every Twitter. I don't
Yeah,
want
it's
to call
Twitter
it.
account.
I'm a boomer.
Yeah.
Every YouTube account puts out constant American homeless people, filming them.
And
pictures of
Kensington
them.
Avenue with like the drug addicts
Yeah.
and stuff. They put it out all the time, but God forbid you put out a homeless person in China. Now you're bad because
Now you're bad.
What are you
Hey,
doing?
that's immoral.
How dare you take a photo
How
of them?
dare you? Gosh,
And
what
that's-
is this? What is this party that we call this?
Oh yeah, it's the America Bad Party.
At all costs.
Yeah. So I mean, it just shows you how a narrative can be very easily made, because if you block anyone from doing or showing your faults, but you can constantly point out somebody else's fault freely and nobody stops you, it's easy for people to think, oh, China's great, there are no homeless people, but there are.
And they're so prolific.
There are more homeless people in China than there are in America.
That's for sure.
And the reason I
Tally
can
it
say
up.
that is 1.4 billion people, if only 0.1% of those people are homeless, it's more homeless people than in the entire America.
Can we look at the next part?
Sure.
I just want to show this.
Okay. Yeah, it's just a normal...
This just came out. Oh, what is this? Oh, homeless beggars in China. And I feel really bad for them. And their life sucks, right? But this is just taken the other day. Like,
Yeah.
does this not exist or what? Like...
Yeah, no, apparently there are no homeless people. We shouldn't use them as a political tool or whatever.
Sorry.
You know what I'm saying? That's only shills can do that for America. But you know what?
You can't point out the trials and tribulations. You know why? This is the ironic thing.
Yeah.
And sorry if I'm harping on too much about this, but in China, if you work for state media or you proselytize their message or whatever,
Yes, if you're a shill.
if you're a shill, you specifically use homeless Americans, their pictures and their videos, for political gain.
That's the only reason you do it.
There's no other reason to do this.
You're like, look at this shiny new subway station, and this is America, and show a homeless person.
Yes. You're not trying to make America better. What you're doing in this scenario is trying to divide American public because China wants the downfall of the U.S., and they're doing that not with missiles. They're doing that with social media posts.
Yes.
They want people to say, oh, it's dystopia in America. I hate it. They don't even have to. Their goal isn't even to make China look like an alternative. Their goal is just to make you hate your own country.
Correct.
Right? That's a political tool.
Yeah.
That's the only reason this is happening. Sorry, guys, we figured you out. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
If you show
Don't fall for it, by the way.
If you show homeless people in China and you say, this is the truth, the reason you're doing that is because you're not allowed to do it. So then there's no problem. Therefore, the problem is never solved, right?
Yes.
If they say there's no homeless people and there's no poverty and there's nothing bad happening in China, then nothing can actually be done to help those people.
Yeah, because nobody knows about it.
So in America, it's all over the news. Everyone sees the homeless people. Everyone knows about it. And then you have shills that are doing it for political gain. Then you have people like us or people that actually care about China and Chinese people that want to show the reality of the situation so that something might be able to be done by it.
Yeah.
And nothing can be done because now you're the enemy and you're a demon because you showed something that's not supposed to exist.
Exactly.
Homeless people and poverty in China is an inconvenience for the Chinese government. It is not anything other than that. It's an inconvenience and it's illegal to show it.
Yeah.
That's evil.
It is evil.
There's
and
two
it's
differences there.
far worse than in the USA or any other country that I know of. I mean, you know what?
Poverty for sure.
Maybe India. You know, I've been to India. I could say maybe India it's worse. But in China, it's terrible. And the fact that they hide it is the worst part. You know. Anyway, let's move on to space. Okay?
Yeah, I love the idea.
Yes.
I don't love maybe space coming down.
The final
on me.
frontier.
Yeah.
Okay, now, what you're seeing here happened, last week? I believe?
3 days ago, I think, yeah.
Anyway, a new launch of one of China's thingies they like to put in space all the time, whatever it may be. So, why is this bad? I'd like you to take a look. Okay, this is what we're showing here is an older clip on this. This one is an older clip right here, but we just want to show you that this is something that happens often. Okay? Now, this is the new one that you can see. Okay, this is from a couple days ago. Now, what's bad about this is that the fuel that you're seeing leak out there is incredibly toxic, and it's actually corrosive to the human body.
It's called hydrazine.
Yeah.
Horrible.
It's rocket fuel, and it's incredibly bad. And I just want you to see the extent of this plume of toxic gas that you're seeing right next to a village. Now,
not to mention the rocket booster that fell down on a village.
Of course. Now, I just want you guys to think for a second here. You can see, look, there are the buildings. There are people living right there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thousands of people.
There are people
in this area.
probably right where it fell too.
This is in Guidong County in Guizhou. We've been very close to here.
Oh yeah, we've been very, very much here. Now, when you've got that amount of toxic nonsense falling on your village, surely you're going to breathe a little bit of it, okay?
Yeah.
It's going to cause cancers and stuff like that, but it's going to seep into the soil. It's going to mess your entire crops up, your river systems, your water systems, all that stuff. China doesn't care.
No.
And what is the reason they do this?
Because you save so much money. When you plan trajectory for a rocket to go up and then booster packs to come down and all that stuff to basically dissipate without harming people, so much goes into regulation, planning, trajectory, all that stuff. It costs money. It costs human time. It costs effort, right?
Yeah.
If you can rush that stuff out and not worry about where things come down because you can just cover up the news when people die and the rockets fall on an old man's house, because it happens, by the way.
Yeah, it does.
Then you don't have to worry about that stuff. It doesn't matter anymore, right? You could save millions of dollars because you don't have to plan. And that's truly what happens. The people in the space sphere online literally said that.
Yeah, people have written articles about it. It's China's irresponsibility with its space program is to save money and give it a competitive edge. Because here's the thing. right now, I believe America is currently the top when it comes to payload delivery to space. So it doesn't matter what company or what government or whatever. If you want to send up a satellite or you wanted to send something up into space to repair something, you will pay America to do it. You'll like SpaceX or NASA or whatever will do it. Okay. Now, NASA, SpaceX, etc. They spend a huge amount of money and time. First of all, figuring out the correct launch sites. They're usually at the coast, and they're done in such a way so that the debris falls into the ocean. All right, doesn't kill anyone. Doesn't land on a village. Doesn't land on an inhabited area.
Yes.
But that costs so much money. So China, they do it in the middle of the country, right, where it's landlocked. There's no sea or ocean around there. Fire it up into there. Don't care where it falls. It doesn't matter to them. They don't calculate this. They're just like, do it. And they save a lot of money, so then that means they can undercut America when it comes to payload delivery. So if you go as a private entity, I don't know, maybe you're from some random country and you're like, I want to deliver a satellite to space. America's like, we'll do it. We'll do it safely. We'll do it correctly. It's going to cost you $10 billion.
Or whatever it is.
I'm making that up, yeah. And then you go to China and they're like, yeah, we'll get it up there for you, but we'll charge you like $5 billion.
Yeah.
Because we don't have to worry about like where our stuff's going to land.
We don't care.
No, we don't care. It's irresponsible. China's space program is a joke. Just because they get it done doesn't mean it's being done properly. And it's to the detriment of Chinese people. Now, I wish people could understand that. You know, when I criticize and when we criticize this stuff, it's not because we want to say, oh, China bad. It's because Chinese people are being hurt and no one cares. And the Chinese government least of all.
Yeah.
You know, it's absolutely disgusting. Yeah. These villagers, you know, their lives are in danger. First of all, they could just die from the thing falling on them. But think about the health risks of this crap falling down every couple of months when they do a launch. Look at the size of that cloud. Like, you know, that entire area is going to be breathing in cancer.
Yeah. Some people are saying it could also be dinitrogen tetroxide.
Yeah.
Also bad, I believe.
Yeah, pretty sure it's all of those things and more. You know,
they'll
be using like lead-based something in there as well.
Yeah. Somehow it'll have like some ancient chemical.
Yeah, whatever was banned because you know it's
it only
bad.
runs on the banned
Yes,
stuff,
because they get that stuff cheap because no one wants it anymore, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be that. But I mean, yeah, let's look at the size of that toxic cloud. It's corrosive to the human body.
Yeah.
Floating around, you know, trying to raise a family there. I don't know. Yeah, so that was...
a bit of space-related propaganda today.
Correct.
Propaganda is when you see propaganda coming from China, but they make big mistakes. And this was awesome. This is a fun find. This is a tandem find we found. So Winston sent me this tweet.
Yeah, so
he's like, what is this?
Yeah, let's give it a bit of backstory here. So, you know, China's just recently had a moon probe that landed on the far side of the moon and took some samples.
Mm-hmm. We'll cover that in a little bit.
Yeah. Anyway, so because they've just recently had their moon probe, they're trying so hard because they want everyone to be impressed. Mm-hmm. They want everybody to say, wow. Mm-hmm. But when you're doing something that was done in the 60s, it's not very wow, is it?
No.
You're like, dude, you know, it's been done, bruh. Someone went to the moon and took samples. In fact, someone actually sent people to the moon, unlike your damn probe.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, granted, it was the far side of the moon.
So what? It's the same thing.
It's never been touched.
It's like, oh, well, you know, like, let's do it. China just did the newest transatlantic flight, but this time they did it diagonally. You know what I mean? It's like, it's that kind of thing.
Sure.
It is that kind of thing. Yeah. It's the same thing. Send some crap to the moon, bring something back. Yep. So what I'm saying is, it's not that impressive, okay? And people are like, yeah, yawn, do something cool, okay? Do a kickflip. You know, stop doing that little tic-tac nonsense, okay? We've seen that before in the 60s.
Right, we get it.
So now China's going all out to try and debunk the original moon landing, to try and make it look like they're the first people on the moon.
I never thought that we'd be at this level.
Yeah.
Because what you have is tantamount to the Chinese government going out in saying that America never went to the moon.
Yes.
You know those crackpots that come up with this? What was that guy in the 70s that wrote that book or whatever?
Yeah.
And then that
about everyone going to like Vegas strippers or something instead
something
of
like
the moon.
That. Yeah.
And then Neil Armstrong was like in a punch out with a Vegas stripper rather than being on the moon.
Yeah, and there's that early 2000s documentary on Fox or whatever that just like covered what he covered in the book about. Anyway, so you have crackpots that don't believe that the U.S. went to the moon, right?
Yeah.
And you have China, which is not on a state level saying this, but they're using their amplifier accounts to do it. And so Winston sends me this tweet, and he's like, oh my gosh, He goes, we got to get to the bottom of this.
Yeah, because
it says, I can't stop laugh. And it says historical footage, right, of America's moon landing. So pause it there, please. You're ripping too fast.
I'm sorry.
So I see this tweet and I go...
did you show the actual video clip of this?
No, because it's copyrighted.
Oh, it's copyrighted.
Yes.
Okay,
so I'll show little pieces. Yeah. So I'm like, this looks awfully suspicious. So what they do is in this tweet show this very muddy video clip of people on the moon sweeping things up.
Yeah, they're sweeping it, and then they show like, the lighting and stuff, and get ready, and then they like film the moon landing. And what they're saying is that it was fake. It's like it was a Stanley Kubrick made
it's all a ruse.
Yeah, it's all a ruse.
So I go, wait a minute. So I start doing some reverse image searches, right?
Yeah.
And I find that thing. It says, oh la la, I can't stop laugh. I'm like, oh, that's it, right? Yeah. So it comes up with something else, which was a YouTube video. So all these tweets came out on the 27th. Keep this in mind. These dates are important. And everything around there came out on the 27th, and they all insinuate that America didn't land on the moon, and there's some people sweeping, and there's like camera guys.
Yeah, and there's like someone with a pellet going to action, that kind of thing.
So I find this YouTube video, which was actually posted on the 25th, called Historical Film of American Moon Landing, which is the exact same clip as the tweet, but it came out before them.
Yes.
Which I suspect this is the genesis of this campaign.
Yes.
So it was put on this channel called China's Time. What a freaking surprise. You got like a pretty girl called China's
like
Time.
A fake and it's like filtered pretty girl.
Tell China's story well, and it's jam-packed full of propaganda.
Just propaganda, yeah.
So you go to the next slide, I'll show you.
I like how directly after that it's this...
So yeah, that's important actually. Yeah. So they post this fake moon landing thing to say America didn't land on the moon, and then right afterwards, it's propaganda about how Chang'e, the Chinese vessel, came back.
Yeah, the Chinese moon probe came back. Yeah,
right. So it looks like this was the genesis of this. So this means this is probably a state amplifier account.
Yes.
So if you look at this, it says historical film of American moon landing images, right? And this post only gets about 6,000 views, but what this has done is that this is 2 days later now proliferated all over Twitter on other Chinese amplifier accounts.
Yes, it's all Chinese.
It's not organic. They're the posts are, I want to speak Chinese, 一模一样, exactly the same.
Yeah.
Each post is exactly the same of this film.
So a lot of propagandists that I follow on Twitter, for instance, posted this.
Yes.
Chinese propagandists.
Right.
And ironically, they're like, America faked moon landing.
Remember, this isn't crackpot stuff, right? This is like, these accounts post serious Chinese propaganda. This isn't like aliens, like, what is it, ancient aliens or something.
Yeah.
Like, this is stuff you're supposed to believe, right?
Yes.
So it says, I translated some of these comments on here. It says, the paper tiger is too shameless, talking about America, how they didn't land on the moon. I felt sorry for the Soviet Union for a second and encountered the first generation of telecommunications fraud because in the theory that America didn't land on the moon, they convinced the Soviet Union that America landed on the moon because they messed with their like telecommunications to get all the signals and like all the tracking.
Sure.
This one says deceiving the whole world for so many years.
Yeah, so people are taking this clip seriously.
Well, at least Wu Mao bots, right? Yeah. So the whole point is to make you as an American or anyone that speaks English not believe that America went on the moon, right? Yeah. So if you look at this, it says, hello, welcome to Pay Attention. Support me by tipping with PayPal. Spread the real China. Understand the real China. You got to understand.
Yeah, you got to understand. We got that.
You got to understand China.
And interesting Chinese stories, right? So, and it's a Singapore account. You see these a lot of out of Hong Kong or Singapore.
Yeah, because YouTube is allowed there.
Yes, and what they'll do is they'll amplify direct Chinese messages. And this is what China does when they can't... It's too embarrassing to post something that they really want to say.
Yeah.
Like the Hawaii fires are from like space lasers or whatever.
Yeah.
So they'll get these amplifier accounts that people still take seriously.
And then all the shills take those clips. By the way, remember when we showed you the phone farming thing? This is a very good example of that. Because if you take a look, 616K subscribers. I just want to go back a little bit. I want to see the views. Does it show the views on them?
Well, they do have 307 million views.
Yeah,
more than me.
I know that, but look at these. How many views?
Because it's a shorts channel.
6.5K views?
Yeah, it's a shorts channel.
I know, but also, if you've got 616,000 subscribers, close to a million, well, if you round it up anyway, you'd think you'd get more than like, I don't know, 6.5K views on a video.
This channel's inconsequential. They have thousands of these, right?
Yeah, of course. I'm just saying this is a good example of those click farms, where they just basically, boost these weird channels. It's a very good thing because it puts it up in the algorithm.
Yes,
you know?
it does.
So when the Chinese government boosts these amplifier channels, because like organically they wouldn't grow because they just put out nonsense, right? But the algorithm will start suggesting them if they get a lot of
especially their shorts
watches and stuff. Yeah,
which this has lots of propaganda shorts.
yeah.
So this is like an image. So I started taking images from the YouTube video because they're clearer than the Twitter ones.
Yes.
And I was like, I gotta find out where this is from.
Yes.
Because like this moon thing, like this is very convincing for a lot of these people that are
A lot
seeing
of people, I was seeing on Twitter, people were taking it seriously.
Yes.
They were looking at these propagandists and like saying, wow, this leaked footage of, how America faked the moon landing and stuff.
Yes.
And mostly like Chinese bots were like convinced to buy it. But a lot of like normal people too.
Yeah. So I find this image
Yes.
in the video and I reverse image search this one. This one actually came up with 4 articles from 2022 and 2023, all from European news sources.
Yes.
So I started digging around and I found a good one from Romania. And it
Yes.
says, a video showing astronauts in spacesuits surrounded by people in regular clothes on what appears to be a film set has been shared hundreds of times since late April 2022 by users who claim it is proof that the landing on the moon was staged. However, this is misleading. FP has found that this video features a real behind-the-scenes footage of an authentic film about the life of astronaut Neil Armstrong. It also includes actual footage from NASA's lunar exploration missions. Conspiracy claims that the alienizations were rigged and have been proven false. The short 1-minute video was posted here on Facebook on April 29, 2022 with no description other than a few laughing emoticons. Sound familiar?
Laugh. Yeah, exactly.
It has since been shared more than 160 times in multiple languages by users who claim that as proof that alienation was staged. NASA's lies will be exposed. Everything is staged. Filming in the desert, said a Romanian user who shared the video. The post goes on to mention a vague and unproven conspiracy that U.S. authorities are involved in child trafficking. Always comes back to that.
Yeah.
So here's the deal. You go back to this. This was a fake. Yeah, just pause it there. This is a fake post that was on Facebook from 2022. For all intents and purposes, it looks like something that would happen out of Russia, like that kind of like America Bad Party stuff, right? Yeah. Where everything's fake and all this kind of stuff. And what China did was this had great success 2 years ago.
Let's do it again.
How can we use this to our purpose? Because we just had Chang'e come back from space.
Yes.
We need to belittle America.
Yes.
Trick everyone, make America look bad, and then everyone will think we're the first people to do it.
Yes.
Right. So
that's just where they screwed up though, because the original, like maybe let's say potentially Russian propaganda, they took the behind-the-scenes footage from this movie and they made it look like 4:3 aspect ratio.
Yes.
They made it look like old footage, as you can see in the image above.
Yeah.
But China is so chabaduo, they kept it widescreen.
Yeah, so
they made it look kind of old and rubbish, but they kept it widescreen because maybe they don't know the difference between aspect ratios.
The original, like potentially Russian fake news post would have been very difficult for me to do reverse image searching on, but the one that China used, I was able to find after I went through enough frames.
Yeah.
And it turns out it's from this IMAX behind the scenes thing. There's also this thing for Fandango. Basically, what it is the behind the scenes how they filmed First Man, which is a 2018 movie with Ryan Gosling about Neil Armstrong.
Yes.
So this is just an extra that you can find on YouTube.
Yes, and it's an extra, and I guess like if you bought the DVD, it'd be under the bonus features or something.
Something like that.
And it just shows behind the scenes, which literally shows them preparing the set and the lighting and action, and then they film the moon scene. So that's from an actual movie this thing that they're now saying is proof that America never landed on the moon.
Yes.
It's absolutely ridiculous. Here it is, First Man behind the scenes, creating the moonscape. You can go and find this actual video.
Yeah.
You know?
So here's the full HD one.
Yeah, you can go and
First
find
Man
it.
behind the scenes.
You can see it. It's not a conspiracy. See how they make it look all old? They put it made it all crappy and they filmed it.
Guys,
Yeah.
if you shills,
Yeah.
you dirty shills that went out and spread this propaganda, you know who you are.
Yes.
You're American, you're British, you're Canadian.
Yeah.
I know all you guys.
Yeah.
You went out there and shared this as if America didn't land on the moon and you used a freaking behind the scenes clip
From a Hollywood movie.
First Man.
Yeah.
You idiots.
I actually want to go see that movie now.
Now I'm going to watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I've never seen it before, I like space
neither
stuff
had
a
I.
lot. Yeah.
So stupid.
Yeah.
But this is what they do. This is propaganda. China tried to put this out almost at a state level.
Yeah. I mean, they've been doing this for a long time.
So if you go on Douyin,
Yeah.
just play it.
Okay.
I
Which is
wanted to
China's TikTok. Remember, TikTok is banned in China.
Yeah.
Don't forget that.
Yep, don't forget. If you go on there, they have been running agitprop and frickin' propaganda about like belittling America, not landing on the moon, and how bad America is about this whole space thing for months now.
Yeah,
it's actually been a months-long effort.
It's months long that like America never landed on the moon because I think they realized that their big achievements kind of not a very big achievement if someone did it in the 60s. You know what I mean?
But I mean, what do you expect from a government that does this?
Yeah, exactly. Now, this is to prove a little bit of a point here. Why would the Chinese government and Chinese shills and so on think that America would fake the moon landing? Why would they think that?
Because everything is fake in China.
That's because the Chinese government fakes everything.
Yeah.
And they do this on purpose, as we can see here, using a fire hose to make this fake propaganda of a policeman helping an elderly man across the road in the rain.
As being filmed by a film crew.
And then that'll be put out as a real thing.
People in China see this happening and they go, wow, my country is very fake. So of course they'll think everything else is fake.
They now are holding everybody else to their same standards. They're like, well, we fake everything, so America probably did it too.
There is a lot of that equivalency right now. Is I'll see that in like Wu Mao comments. It'll be like, well, yeah, that thing that the CCP did was bad, but America does it too.
Yeah.
It's like this equivalency.
Yeah. See, here we have it again. We've got the fire department. This is one we haven't shown you yet. Spraying water to show these flood relief efforts, you know. See? Oh, they see someone's filming.
The actors saw.
Yeah, so they're like, oh, yeah, you see us. Yeah, they like stop for a little bit. And...
They're posing.
It's like, yay! Yep. So it's just that kind of thing.
Yeah, so I want to talk about this. So
Okay.
the China thing comes back to
Let's
Earth
talk
with
about
the
this
samples.
very non-impressive thing China did here.
Okay, I think it's moderately impressive because we haven't gotten samples from the dark side of the moon.
Sure.
That part's great.
Like I said, diagonal cross-Atlantic flight,
Right.
whatever. I think they're... Again, the thunder has been taken away. They took the wind out of the sails
think-
with the fact that this was done in the 60s. And this is just like a remix.
I think this is impressive, and I think it's scientifically significant, and most astronaut people type in that sphere,
Sure.
I agree. However, what
From
I
an
don't...
optics point of view, it's not, though.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's inconsequential. Like, from what China's trying to achieve from this,
Yeah.
they failed, right? This is not some massive groundbreaking thing. What they did was scientifically significant, but what their propaganda goal is not
Yes, that's what I'm talking about,
Yeah.
is from that point of view.
Yeah.
Of course, from a scientific point of view, there are merits to this. But from an optics point of view, it's like, so what, bro? Talk to me again when you actually send a man up there.
And they
You know?
the way they're portraying it and trying to denigrate the achievements of the scientific community that America did that's what makes this not impressive.
Yeah, sure.
Right, it shows you it's for propaganda. So anyway, as this comes down, I want to show you this footage. I believe this.
Sure.
I believe this happened. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not like China where they're saying like America didn't land on the moon.
Sure.
I believe this. I can see footage of this. Right.
Yeah.
It's coming down. Here
And
it
why
comes,
wouldn't
right?
it happen if you've got a playbook to follow?
For sure. Play it.
Why not? We know America did it, so they can just copy America and do the same thing, slightly differently. Diagonal cross-Atlantic flight.
Anyone can do it. It's great. Right.
Yeah.
I believe this. Right. There's no reason to question this.
Anyone can
had
use a
been tracked.
parachute. It's been done. Yeah.
Yeah, but again,
Yes, it would have been tracked.
Yes.
Just like the Soviets tracked America to the moon.
Correct.
And confirmed that they did it. Right? America has tracked this too and confirmed that they did it. No one's saying China didn't send this probe to the moon.
that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Here. We can see it, right? We saw it come back, right? But here's the deal.
But
If you're going to go out there
Yeah.
all the time and say America didn't land on the moon, America's fake and lies and doesn't do anything properly, but we in China, our government efforts have led us to do all these crazy space things. Every time I see something from Chinese media in space, every time,
Yeah.
it's bad CG.
it's bad
computer
CG.
graphics.
Show us some proof, bruh.
Yeah,
what is
like-
this? Anyone can do this.
Again, I believed it happened.
Yeah.
It was tracked. I get it. It happened. But
Yeah.
why can't you show? At least America could show.
Yeah,
right? We
exactly.
showed the man on the
yeah,
moon.
exactly. America actually
What
has
is
footage
this?
from the 60s. This is what I love, though, is with such a massive budget that China has for this, it's their most important soft power thing
Yeah.
for the world. Surely they could do a better job.
Yeah.
Everybody, please pay attention right now to the exhaust, the flame.
This is
underneath.
Chinese state television.
This is the China National Space Administration released the latest video.
But it's not a video.
It just clips into the freaking floor. You've got so much budget, you couldn't do proper 3D renderings.
No.
All you have is this cheap. It's probably like some cheap, free, like from
like a free
NASA.
trial.
You know, it's for like children learning about space, and you're like,
Build
make your own
own
moon lander. You know, it's like,
dude. All you guys out there that are experts, tell us what software this is. Because
It's
last time
so-
we figured out
yeah.
that their great AI technology was like Unreal Engine.
This is like a 2005 Flash game for children that NASA released for free. You know what I
Make
mean?
your own
moon lander, and they used it. Yeah, because look at that flame cropping into the moon
got
surface.
PS2 graphics.
Yeah, I know. It's not even PS2. It's pre. They're like, oh, so this is China released the video of Chang'e's touching down.
not a video.
It's not a video. It's a
fake.
fantasy.
Yes, it happened, but you didn't have footage of it.
Exactly. This is real
This
footage.
apparently is the real clip, but I want to see the lander.
But all they did was show a slideshow of
I
some
know.
things, right?
It's just pictures.
Yes, look at this nonsense CG. Bruh, footage or it didn't happen. You know what I mean?
And again, we believe you.
Look at this.
Because we don't question truth
Yes,
and fact.
exactly.
right? But if you're going to try to denigrate other people by saying stuff is fake, then show something a little more real than this.
I gotta ask you, why couldn't they put like a Xiaomi action camera on it or something?
Yeah.
Like just to
Come
film
on.
it. Surely they could have stuck a little 360
selfie stick?
camera, a little something that it extends so that you can actually see this
Come on,
happening.
guys. Come on.
What is this CG thing? They can only do CG.
If you're going to be dicks about it
Yeah.
and say America's fake and didn't do anything, then to be a little more real yourself.
yeah,
man.
what is this CG, nonsense? You guys suck.
This isn't a video. Stop saying it's a video.
It's not a video. It's crap. It's very bad CG representation.
So this is what happened. I see.
Remember, like on Xbox 360 when NASA did the Mars probe landing?
Yeah.
And they had a game with the Kinect or whatever that you could move it around. That looked better than this.
And that was like 10 years ago.
yeah, more than 10
More than
years,
15 years ago.
Yeah, ridiculous.
Anyway,
Yeah.
you
So-
get the idea.
Yeah, that's today's Slopaganda segment.
The stuff we have coming up here, I don't know if we have time for.
Oh, you
We're
don't
way
think
over.
so?
I think we can save it though. Some really good segments.
Okay,
Yeah.
but what we are going to do quickly is give a quick shout out to our Monday show, which is Xiaoban Ho. Please take a look at what you missed.
How come I've never heard it before?
Edit, dude.
So bad.
We cannot laugh at this.
I can because
It's
they made like a cartoon speech bubble.
Not
One
very
dude
nice
came up
people.
to teach kindergarten when I was teaching at that kindergarten. He had cocaine on his nose. I had like Russian prostitutes in my class.
I've
Always.
never met a sex pet that's like good to be around.
We snowboarded down Mount Everest or something. This guy's like a grown man. It's like a grown. He's in his 20s, telling me that he and his friend died on the way down and stuff. And I'm like, really? Yeah. So guys, I hope you are part of the Xiaoban Ho gang. But that's our VIP show on Mondays. And honestly, if you have the means, we'd love to see you there. You can just go to patreon.com/ADV podcasts and join the Xiaoban Ho tier. Get access to all the previous 100+ episodes. And of course, you get to join us.
So one thing I want to say quickly is that last one that you just saw is episode 103.
Yeah.
And that was where we made a tier list of all the expats and foreigners in China. And we actually ranked them, and it was very funny.
Yeah.
Great lore.
It was good fun.
Episode 102 was we talked about all the crazy things that police do to enforce the law in China, which was very fun.
Yeah. Enjoyed that.
Episode 101, we talked about the nuts things that you'll see in Chinese parks.
Yeah, that's one of my favorites.
That was great. Yeah, not that many people watched that. It was a great one.
Yeah.
And then, of course, episode 100 was our 100th episode Xiaoban Ho's celebration. You want to see that one because we were in costume for that.
Yeah.
It's a crazy, fun show, and it's the best way to support us, and you get a whole nother show. It's not just like, oh, support us if you want to support us. You get a whole ass show every Monday.
Fantastic.
It's awesome.
All right, so let's move on to Yum Chow, everybody. This is our Q&A segment, and this is where we answer your questions and you question our answers. Now, remember, everybody, it is Friday, so hopefully wherever you are, you're relaxing in the way you like to relax.
Yeah.
And you're watching us at the same time.
And we're
It's
watching
not
you.
always relaxing, but, at the same time, we're glad
It's
you're
up and
here.
down.
Yeah, so we leave this segment up on the weekend and live, but we take it out on Monday. So if you're not sticking around, stay awesome. But if you are sticking around, let's get right into it.
Bud Agagon says, to Winston, planning